Frankie Edgar. It's funny because when I grew up a boxing fan and watching Rocky movies, I love Rocky. But even when you watch Rocky, you're like, that's such bullshit. Nobody would take that many punches and be able to come back and actually win a fight. It could never happen. Well, he proved it. You know, he reminds me. He's like the Arturo Gatti of MMA. I mean, that's really what this kid is. I have so much respect for him, and I'm going to say it here tonight. And I don't care who disagrees. You're wrong, and I'm right. He's the number 2 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Period. The only thing that keeps him from being number 1 is that Anderson Silva has not been beaten in the UFC since 2006, and most of the time he's been the champion. It's the only thing that keeps Frankie Edgar from being the number 1 pound-for-pound. If you really look at what pound-for-pound means, you cannot deny that Frankie Edgar is number 2. The guy weighs 145 pounds. He's beating people at 155 pounds. Tonight he beat a guy, again, who had him out of it. I mean, he was done in the first round, and a guy who many people believed had his number, he knocked him out tonight. I'm telling you, man, I've never seen any shit like that in my life. This is I think it's the first time. I mean, you guys think back to my relationship with Chuck Liddell and how emotional we were in building this company and everything else. I love Ray Maynard. He's a great guy. I had nothing. When Frankie Edgar won that fight, I literally jumped out of my seat and was like jumping up and down. You know, it's what he did tonight was amazing, and he's the number 2 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I don't give a shit what anybody else says. That's the truth. Next question. Kevin.
Yeah, so my question would be about Frankie, and you know, he seems to have good tight boxing, moves his head pretty well and everything. But then in every fight he has, it seems like he takes that one big shot. Do you know any idea why it is that a guy that seems to have such good boxing is vulnerable every now and then?
Well, that's the other thing too. I think he's the best boxer in the UFC. I mean, this kid boxes like a boxer. He moves well. He moves his head, and he takes that one big shot because the guy weighs 145 pounds and he's fighting. Did you see the size difference between those two tonight? I mean, I've been telling Frankie Edgar for a long time, I think you should fight at 45. Not his dad, not his trainer. You know, that's his decision. He's a grown man. He knows what he's doing, but you know, he's a phenomenal athlete. He's got a huge heart, an incredible chin, and you know what he pulled off tonight was amazing.
Would you give him a chance if he said, "I wanted to fight Jose Aldo for that title," and then decide which one he wanted to keep, assuming he would win it?
Well, no. If he decided he wanted to fight Aldo, he'd have to move down to 45. Right. Give up his 55-pound belt. Yeah. You know, he's the champ. I mean, he's the champ at 55. He had the three crazy fights with Gray and pulled it out tonight, and you know, he's the champion. If he decided to move down to 45, he'd vacate the belt. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a fight promoter. That's what I do. We promote fights, and we put on all the bells and whistles, and then these guys go in and fight. In no way, shape, or form have I taken Frankie under my wing or whatever. Everything that Frankie has, Frankie earned. He's a 145-pounder. I say it all the time. I say it to him, and this guy has beat everybody in the 155-pound division, including BJ Penn twice, Ray Maynard twice. I mean, well, sorry, once. I apologize. The other one was a draw. But you know, everything that he has, Frankie Edgar has earned. I haven't done a thing for him. He's done it himself. And you know, as far as calling him the number 2 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, he is. Period. He is the number 2. If you look at what pound-for-pound means, the only reason he's not number 1 is because Anderson Silva has never been beaten in the UFC. He's been here since 2006, and he's had the title most of the time. It's amazing what he's accomplished. But if that wasn't the case, Frankie Edgar is the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He did that, not me.
And to Frankie also, it seems like you've kind of developed a little bit of swagger, I guess you would say, over the last couple of years. What do you attribute that to?
Come on, I had swagger, you know, for a while now. I won't say that. You know, I mean, no, you know, you get the belt, you get more confidence. It comes with the territory, you know. You get more attention from the media, you get more attention from the fans. It's just, you know, it comes with the, you know, with the belt and everything, and the responsibility of being a champion.
And just to add on to that too, I mean, again, think about it, guys. Think about all the fights that we've seen over the last 10 years, or how many fights you've seen through your life where a guy goes out and gets hurt as bad as he did in the first round. I told you, that's movie shit. That stuff doesn't really happen in real life. There's 2 guys I've seen do it: Arturo Gatti and Frankie Edgar. That's it. What he did the last time and this time He's an amazing human being. He's an incredible athlete, and he's got a heart the size of this room, man. And that's no promoter bullshit. That's what he did. That's who he is. It has nothing to do with me. What?
It's a jersey.
It's a Jersey thing. Well, it's a Jersey thing, you know? He had Snooki situation out there. He couldn't let them down tonight.
I'm not stealing his stuff.
Dana, Frankie, and Gray. Dana, you sort of just touched on it momentarily ago, but this is a trilogy. There's been some great trilogies in combat sports from boxing as well as MMA, but this is a special one. I think we're going to look back 5 years from now and really look and say, wow, that was incredible. Can you three sort of sum it up in your own minds?
Lorenzo, when we went back into my room after the thing, Lorenzo said the same thing. Lorenzo was like, this is one of those fights that when you're watching HBO, legendary fights, you know, or legendary nights, or whatever the hell that show's called, this is one of them. You know, the trilogy of the fight with these guys, it's definitely, I mean, agree with you 100%, and Lorenzo said the same thing tonight.
And then talking about, you know, your boxing, I asked Dana this question earlier. It seems like, you know, you have such good boxing, you move your head and shoulders, but then every fight you seem to get hit with a really big shot. And it's like almost like you make a mistake. Is it something that happens in a fight, or is it, you know, anything you can put your finger on why you're getting caught with that big shot in every fight?
Yeah, I don't know if it's every fight. I mean, it's happened to be the last 2 fights.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe it has something to do with what Gray's doing. But, you know. Yeah, I mean, I don't plan it, believe me. If I can walk away unscathed, I'd rather do that. But, hey, it's exciting for you guys, so hey.
And I'll go back and say what I said when you asked me that question. The problem is that the guy weighs 145 pounds and he's fighting 155 pounds. And when you go in and you look at the tape and you look at the fight and look at the size difference between these two, and like you said, this guy hits hard. These guys at 55 are big, they're strong. But I'm not your father, I'm not your trainer. I'm just saying.
Well, Frank, when you watch the tape of the fight and hear what Dana just said, do you look at it and say, you know, hey, there's points in different fights where my size works against me?
But, I'm sorry, he's won every fight at that weight except for, you know, the Gray Manor fight. So, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I got into the sport, when I first got into the sport, UFC didn't even have a 55-pound division. No one really had 45-pound division, you know, the local fights I was fighting, so I just fought at 55. I got in at 55, and, you know, here I am, I'm the champion. I don't, you know, it's definitely a nice option to be able to go down and possibly fight at 45 in the future. But, you know, I'm comfortable right now. You know, I'll definitely bounce some ideas off of Dana and Lorenzo, see what they think. But, you know, I'm comfortable at 55. I mean, I'm the champion. I don't see any reason to, you know, go anywhere.